This do-it-yourself idea, I think, is a very great idea. I like it, and of course the difference between me and the other fella, I will use discarded material while he buys new materials. As an example, these old bench sides were from an old station bench that I picked up over at Okemah when the Fort Smith and Western Railroad went out here, and converted them to a metal bench from the wood, excepting for the sides. This table, as you see over here, the ends of this table are made from a sewing machine. The top is made from a porcelain panel from a refrigerator, while the fancy didos and the metal down there from an old brass bed. Here, by the way, is an example of a stand that I had made from a fixture turned upside down, an electric light fixture. Made a little brass table out of it. And over here, my chaise lounge, you notice the lawnmower wheels and the angle iron and the odds and ends and scraps that I've made it from. This is another piece of discarded materials assembled from various parts. As you'll notice, this is a table, brass table made from teller cages, made also from the ornamental iron pieces, and on the outer edge there for a trim I use the molding, electric molding. Over here we'll find another project that I'm starting already, getting ready for Christmas, making some modernistic Christmas trees. This was got the idea from one of the stores on the Bells of Sarnia that use this standard, and I'm modifying that and making up a little different design, as you'll see from this just cut from plain metal. And then I found that some of the florists were interested in making table pieces, so I'm working on another idea, which is the this type, and then they will redecorate these and using this as an outline. Here's one that is partially finished for decoration, and the bulbs can be hung on there in addition. The weather was hot in town, and we decided we want to find a place out from town. After looking over a number of places, we finally discovered this place, which is quite a ways off the beaten path. And we decided just to build a weekend place out here. We built our weekend place and liked it so well, after the first year, we decided to make it our permanent home. We had so much trouble, I did, in trying to convince the wife that this would be the logical place to build a home. She wasn't in favor of building our home out there, so I told her she could stay in town and I would move out here. After the place had taken shape, and we built an L shape, or added to the present place, she began to think it might be better out here than she had supposed. Of course, we had no near neighbors. We didn't have a telephone, didn't have the gas or the lights. We had to use butane tank and other facilities to get by on. But gradually, and today we have all of these features that we have and did enjoy in town. This certainly was a barren old place when we first came out here. There were no trees around here except a few willows along the lakefront, and it was certainly a terrible sight. But we gradually worked around and put a few trees out, and then a few more, and finally, as you can see now, this tree behind me as an example was just a little old stub of a tree that had been cut off and left to grow, and since then, well, the wife better tell you about that because she's responsible for that being here.
Well, that was just a stub of a tree that had been cut off by a lawnmower. Or not a lawnmower, but what they use with horses. Because this was just growing up in weeds out here then. And I had a colored man out here who was working, so I thought, well, I didn't believe I wanted that tree right there where it was, or that stub. So I asked him to dig it up and move it down by the lake, and so he did. He dug out what he thought was the tree and moved it down there. Then the next spring, this one came up that I have here, so now I have two trees.
By a quick coincidence, it just so happens that it's exactly 23 years to the day today since we moved out here. Of course, when we first came out here, there was a lot of things to be done even after we had completed our home. We've had the stone walls to fix up, and we've screened in the porch. We put in a barbecue pit, and all of the various trees. The wife has planted these red bud trees that you see over here. The growth of those trees over there are about 20 years old, started from seedlings. And all of the place around here we have had to continually work on in order to get it in shape. And we have never stopped working on it. I was rather impressed when I first saw this place with the lake and the water, which is very clear water fed by natural springs. There are 27 natural springs that are feeding this lake. And it's interesting also to know that this lake continues and flows north and eventually finds its way to Lake Hefner. We've enjoyed being out here and have a number of picnics of the Home Workshop Club, the church groups, and various other groups. And it's an ideal spot for people who like to get away from town. It's quite a different looking place than when we first came on out here. We had no neighbors. Well, we did have just one across the lake over in there. We could see him then because there were no trees at that time. Since then, of course, we have 18 neighbors out here now, but we don't see any of them. We can't see many of their homes out here as a result. One of the things that seemed to impress most of the people out here is the fact that they run onto this body of water, which is a clear stream, and it's all fed by springs, and they like it out here. It's one of the reasons they moved out here. The expanse of the land, as you can see, is one of the most interesting things. And as you waken in the morning, you don't feel that crowded as if you was living door to a fellow. You have plenty of space out here to roam around and do whatever you want to do. Anything more? This is my latest project, attempting to build a carport using material that I happen to have on hand, such as the drill stem that I'm using for the pipe supports, these windmill ladders, using those for my roof supports. And over in here I have a number of these Army map cases that I'm going to use for my roofing. This I started this morning, and I expect to get through with it by the end of this week. I must get through this week because I'm on jury service next week. Therefore, it's a must. Is there anything more? You notice this bell over here. We have two of these at our entrances to our home. And the purpose of the bell, which is an old school bell, is to notify us when we have company come. We have floodlights on the house, and if people will let us know their presence, we'll be glad to turn the lights so they can see to get in.